نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We live in a world where we Muslims are being defined by many people. We're defined by people from all sorts of backgrounds. There are people in the Muslim community who are trying to define us. There are people in the non-Muslim community who are trying to define us. These people may be extremists, these people may be terrorists. They may come from the Muslim community or the non-Muslim community, but they try to represent Islam, try to define Islam. But they have one thing in common, which is that both of these groups of people are saying that Islam is an extremist religion, that Muslims are barbaric, that Islam is a backward religion, that Islam promotes terrorism. The problem is that just under 2 billion Muslims do not share this narrative, do not share these beliefs, do not share these things which are said about us. So the extremists certainly have these things in common because both are trying to misrepresent Islam. Islam is a beautiful religion, and we know that. Islam is a religion that promotes morality, that promotes universal values. These values are the values that we believe in and the 2 billion Muslims believe in. Our Holy Prophet ﷺ said, لا يدخل الجنة من لا يعمل جاره بوائقه. That you cannot enter Jannah if from your mischief your neighbors are not safe from. Your neighbors could be Muslims or non-Muslims, your neighbors could be black or white, but if they're not safe from your mischiefs, if they're not safe from your actions and behaviors, then as a Muslim you cannot enter Jannah. This is what the Holy Prophet ﷺ has said. At another place, the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that if you sleep with a full stomach and your neighbors sleep with an empty stomach, then you're not among us, you're not a Muslim, you're not a believer. Now just imagine that. This beautiful hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this beautiful saying of our Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that if you are sleeping with a full stomach but your neighbors are hungry, your neighbors are staying hungry, and in this globalized village our neighbors are not just the immediate neighbors but neighbors across the city, across the world, and it is our responsibility to ensure that we look after our neighbors, that we take care of them. And Muslims across the world do. Muslim community, according to the recent Times survey, shows that in Britain, where the survey took place, that Muslims are the most generous community, most giving community. And Alhamdulillah, this is because of the teaching of our Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. At another place, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا أحسنهم خلقا. That the best among you, that your iman cannot be complete, that you cannot be a mu'min unless you have the best manners, unless you have the beautiful manners. The manners that respects all, the manners that cares about neighbors, the values of love thy neighbor. This is the saying of Holy Prophet ﷺ, and these are our beliefs. At another place, our Holy Prophet ﷺ said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. That you cannot be a mu'min, you cannot be a true believer, you cannot be a Muslim unless you love your brother what you love for yourself. Now imagine that we have been commanded to love for the other what we love for ourselves, for our own souls, that anything we do, any gifts we give, or any other actions that we take in society, that we have to ensure that we have others in mind. These are the values that define us. These are the beliefs that make us Muslim. And these are the values by which 2 billion Muslims across the world live by. And it is these values that we must ensure that we teach others about, that we share others about, that this is what Islam is, so that we can isolate those people who are trying to misrepresent Islam and define Islam in their own political way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.